Welcome, everybody. We on another episode of Better Human, Better Entrepreneur. I'm here with an amazing guest because this podcast is where we go deep with leaders who have not only built incredible lives for themselves, but built super incredible, if that's a word, right?
Yeah.
Super incredible businesses that has been serving and inspiring millions. And today we're here with a special guest, so we're going to get straight into it. I'm your host, Eddy Charger, master connector, investor, and lover of all things service. And I'm joined by another amazing individual who falls into the same line. Before we get into all the great things that you've done, I want to ask you an opening question.
Okay.
What's the one belief that you used to hold as absolute truth, but now you have completely disagreed with?
Hmm. I would have to say that my mindset changed on competition and collaboration to where people in your same industry doing the same thing that you do, that you can't work together because I've been able to collaborate with people that's within my industry and go twice as harder, if not three times as harder with them than I would have if I was on the island by myself.
Love that. Now, that makes a lot of sense. You have a interesting story that's not too uncommon from some folks. You've had a lot of loss in the beginning.
Hmm.
You became a teen mom early,
Yeah.
and then you built a multi-million dollar business essentially by yourself, right? Quote unquote, right?
Right.
Based off what you just said.
Right.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank
That
you.
is no small feat, especially where we are in this world. But you've also done something that I find fascinating is you've brought people along with you, whereas you should have, like other people have, given up on people. Because, you essentially was given up on. Like you didn't have anyone in your corner. You didn't have anybody pushing for you to get there. Now you just coming off the eve of doing a 2-day event here in Atlanta, jam-packed room, and I was there watching you inspire so many different people. In fact, the one lady who stood up and was like, when I got in here, I had all the things that I needed and I just couldn't get it done.
Hmm.
And now I'm ready. How does
Yes.
that feel, knowing that that's the work that you're doing?
It felt good because people need to find their tribe to be able to help them, sometimes just kick them off the stoop. So I was glad that, if it wasn't all 70 people, there's just that one person was able to come into the room and know that they can do it now because they found their tribe and people that's gonna encourage them. And essentially it's in the same boat with them, right? So a lot of times, when people get into business and they have an idea of wanting to start stuff, if other people around them aren't doing it, it's kind of like, is this really a thing? Is this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I started my business, I was 27 years old and wanted to house adults, just returning citizens. But nobody else was doing it. All of my friends was doing nails, doing hair, selling plates, selling sunglasses, and the industry that I was trying to get into, you didn't see that. So I was kind of like, how am I gonna get this done? I know what I need to do, but there's nobody that I can, bounce ideas off of. So when she said that, it kind of resonated with me because I was there at one point in time.
Love that. So speaking of that, on that same line, if pain was your resume, what would you list under skills acquired?
Um, Being consistent,
Hmm.
determination, tunnel vision. It allowed me to adapt those traits.
What aspect of like your life, like do you have a story where one of those things was the skills that you learned from that?
Well, so going back to when I was 3 years old, my mom passed away.
Hmm.
When I was 18, when I was 5, my maternal grandmother passed away. When I was 18, my paternal grandmother passed away, and when I was 19, my dad passed away. And so with all of those things happening early on in my life, it just I could either keep going or I could just use those as excuses to not become nothing. And so with all of the pain that came from that, I just had to know that I had to keep going, keep my eyes on the prize, just use the small tools that I was given in my early childhood from my dad to just keep pushing through hardships. So I feel like nothing can break me or destroy me because I was built for it. I was made for it. That didn't take me out, so I'm like nothing's gonna be able to take me out.
You said in one of your other interviews that survival mode is what shaped you.
Hmm.
You just said a bunch of things right now that I know there are people in our audience that are like, I totally understand where you're going from, right? Like, I relate to that. But how did you get there? What was the mindset that you had to adapt so that you can get to the point where you now feel like, hey, it hasn't killed me, so.
I just had to keep getting up.
Hmm.
It just had to keep getting up. Um, it was something that I saw my dad do. Um, just adversities hitting him as well, and still being able to just get up every day and be a single father to three children. Um, and I just know that I don't have a support system like that. Now I've grown to have a support system now, but when you don't have somebody to fall on, you ain't nobody's coming to save you. So I had to know that nobody's gonna come to save me. Even now, even though I know I've created relationships where I know that people will likely come and bring the boat, I still wake up every day knowing that I gotta get this right.
Yeah. How did losing both of your parents and then becoming a teen mom impact you to be able to lead today?
I just always have to give credit to my dad because I just watched him do that. He was a resilient man.
Mm.
Um, he just didn't make excuses. He just kept every day, got up, had a routine to get things going. And so I just admire him and just trying to be the woman that he knew I could be. He always would tell me that there was nothing I could do. And he told that to me. I was helping him work on his houses because he was a carpenter. He was a jack of all trades, work on his car. So I'm handing him tools. It was somebody saying that you can't break me because I handed my daddy the wrong tool before. And they was like, because they get mad, right? So that was like me. I could relate to that because he just taught me everything. And he would always tell me that you can do whatever you put your mind to. He would even tell me I can give you this hammer and you will be able to knock this whole house down. I can remember it vividly. We sitting in the front yard and he talking to me and wanted to hand me the hammer. He said, there's a way for you to knock this whole house down with just this hammer is if you put your mind to it. And that's just how I was raised. So it's nothing, I don't feel like there's nothing that I can do or anybody can do if it's just your mind. It's a powerful thing. And you can either use it to prepare you for it, or you can use it to lay down and become nothing. If you don't use it, you lose it.
With everything that you've gone through so far and the trials, the tribulations, the success, and a lot of times people think like, oh, you're successful now, so you don't have the same problems, right? But we both know Biggie Ben said, more money, more problems. That's a
Hmm.
real thing, right? But if you were to meet your 15-year-old self, being who you are today, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to watch the company she keep. I would tell her that it's gonna be okay because of course with the teenage pregnancy, not having a strong support group, friends that's not doing what they need to do, I had to go learn some hard lessons. But I would just tell her everything's gonna be okay. Like you gonna make it.
Mm, that's awesome. All right. I want to jump into business,
Hmm.
but I do have something I want to ask you. And it has to do with like how you have essentially fallen into this position of leadership,
Hmm.
right? So, how does your background allow you to be able to lead at the level? Because it seems like the more successful you become, the more successful you help other people become, there's this like need or ask of a new level of leadership that's put on you, right?
Hmm.
So, how are you like training or preparing yourself to step up to the plate each time. Because I've even noticed every city you go to, right, it's like an even bigger impact. I would imagine that is doing something to you and requiring even more out of you. How do you prepare for that?
Mentors, people who've already been where I'm going. Um, being a student, listening to them, and educating myself. So I've worked jobs where I've made it to leadership. I've always had a desire to excel and not stay in the same place. So I'm always trying to rise to the top as quickly as possible. But I have to listen to those that came before me and apply what they learned, whether it was pros or cons in that seat. Listen to them and take their advice, and that's how I'm doing it. So I'm not leaning on my own understanding.
Yeah.
I'm using my mentors, wise men and women.
I think it's standing on the shoulders of giants.
Hmm.
All right. Speaking of, let's talk the money, right?
Okay.
You've done something that's incredible. You're in the 1% of the 1%. You've, from the ground up, built, $1 million business and company in a sector that most people don't pay attention to. Like most people you hear are like Section 8, regular rentals. This has been some oftentimes referred to like the ugly side of affordable housing
Hmm.
with group homes. But you've not only built the business out of it, but you've also made true impact with some of the people that are in your homes and such. What were the systems that you would say, like, what are the three most important systems that you have in place that you would say is the number one reason why you've able to have the success in the group home space?
Having a good marketing strategy, understanding your target audience and what they need, and having either employees or what I call my people in my homes, my house managers, to be able to follow my day-to-day operation on how I want it to be. But it all starts with marketing and understanding your target.
Okay. What do you mean by that? Let's say
So,
I'm brand new. So
okay.
what does that mean when you say understanding your target?
Okay, so if you wanna let's just say for instance, house people who are returning citizens, you have to be able to relate to them in some shape, form, or fashion, understand what their needs are.
Returning citizens? Was
Yeah,
it?
people who are returning home from prison.
Okay.
So housing them, you have to know when they are coming home the things that they're going to need, and be able to facilitate that need once they make it home. Which is, of course, being able to get their ID back, social security card, birth certificate, because a lot of times they lose their documents. Finding employment if they're unable to apply for some type of social security benefits. Being able to understand that these people come from all walks of life and they are going to have backgrounds. They're going to have traumatic experiences depending on how long that they were incarcerated. So you may have to have a team of professionals such as psychiatrists, um, to help them once they return home. So if you just bring them home into your homes with no type of support in place, then it's likely not going to work out. So you have to understand what their needs are so that they can be stable inside of the home.
Okay. So I'm deciding I want to get into the group home space. I would imagine there's a bunch of different target audiences that I
Hmm.
could target, but I fall into like, hey, I want to do returning citizens.
Hmm.
You're saying marketing is important because by knowing who you want to help, you know how you want to help them, right?
No, that's understanding your target audience. Marketing is knowing where to find them at. So
Oh,
when I'm marketing to them, I'm going to make sure that I'm connecting with people who serve them in some fashion.
okay.
So whether you calling the prison directly, speaking with the unit managers or the reentry department, reaching out to the parole divisions, reaching out to nonprofit organizations that cater to reentry, reaching out to family of loved ones who are incarcerated. So that's marketing. You have to reach them. But knowing what they need is, knowing your target audience. So when they do come to your home, you have everything in place for them for stability. Because how I was able to grow my business is focusing on how I'm going to keep them in my home and offer that stability to them. If I bring them home just to let them have a room to rent and now they scraping for other things, then they're going to go to the person that got more resources. Let's just say, for instance, when they come home, somebody been gone for 30, 40 years, the streets don't even look the same. Yeah, you grew up here, but they don't, change up some stuff. Stores different, technology is different. They don't have access to all of those things where they're incarcerated. So you have to understand the mind when they're coming home. They're scared, they're lost. So how are you going to support them in that manner? So it's just helping out with those life skills, even with like transportation. Some of these guys have not used public transportation in so many years. They don't know the different bus route. It's like it's just unfamiliar to them. Versus you choosing a target audience that's already been in the free world for all their life. Is the path is different. So you have to understand what their needs are. So you have to study that. And that's what's going to create that successful transition into your home when you know that I already got this on lock. You come to me, you good. Like
Straight up, yeah.
whichever way you going, whether you're working, whether you're drawing Social Security, we good.
That's awesome. And then the third step is you mentioned something about like house helper or something like that.
Yeah, so like a house manager, so someone who's overseeing the day-to-day operations within the home, like pretty much following your business schedule. But of course, this applies to just certain demographics. Not every demographic is going to need somebody to have like control or leadership within that home. But if you are bringing in people with different backgrounds, different personality styles, you need to have someone there enforcing things that can go on inside your home. Else, it may get crazy. So, having that person that you can train on your SOPs, train on the rules, kind of like a handbook,
Okay.
a guide. So knowing that these are the things that's going to go on within the home operation, and your enforcer. So when you have all of those things in order, it'll make the transition smooth. Because like for me, of course I have my marketing knowing the target audience, but if I can bring them to the door, I don't have to necessarily be there. My house manager know, hey, which bed they're going to go in. You can just have that form of communication in Atlanta and you live in Houston.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. So I can see how that's super beneficial. You're helping the individual that's there, giving them or her some form of like usefulness while they're there, some leadership and building skills and etc. And I can see how that would also cut back on cost and
For
a
sure.
couple other things, keep a little bit more peace in the house, I would imagine. So then my question is, and I don't know if you've heard this word before, but mogul, right? What does a group home mogul do from sunrise to sunset?
Work on the things that you love doing and delegating tasks for the things that you don't like doing.
Yeah.
As a business owner, I do wake up every single day and I work, not necessarily physically, but my mind is always going, tackling the things that I'm good at to be able to increase the revenue in my businesses, and not have to focus on things that I don't like doing. So, like for my journey, each morning I wake up, I'll check my emails, see if I got any new leads coming in, checking in with my staff, my assistants to tell them, any deviation to the normal day activities, and I just get to what I'm good at.
Okay. And how many people do you currently have like on your staff?
So as far as assistants, I have a virtual assistant and two regular assistants. But then I also have seven house leaders in each one of my home, and then I have one field manager that goes to all of my homes to take care of things that maybe the house leaders or managers need support with. And so by the time it get to me, the house better be on fire. So you usually don't get to me.
Wow. So you built this successful. It sounds like 12 max people. Not even.
So I have one home. They have 12 people in it. One have 11. A few have 7 or 8. The lowest is 6.
Okay. So you help a lot of people. You talk to a lot of people. What do you see are some of the common mistakes like new operators are doing in their homes?
New operators, I feel like they are desperate to fill beds versus actually properly assessing people before bringing them to their home.
What does that mean? Because I mean, filling the bed sounds like where the money comes in, right? So I'm
Yeah,
like, let's
but
fill this thing up.
we're looking for stability. So you can get money every month, a new person to come in, but I would call them a frequent flyer. If you not gonna assess them to see what the end goal is for them, then you're gonna be turning over beds every single month.
Which is what you don't want.
You don't want that.
Okay.
So ideally, I'm looking for people that's gonna stay at least 6 months or longer, a lifetime.
Okay. So we're not running a Airbnb for people coming out of prison or something like that. This is
No,
like
this is
truly.
home.
Mm,
This is home. That's how I'm able to scale. I don't want short term. I'm not looking for short term. I'm not looking for them to come and go, because when I know that I'm bringing in people and it's home for them, I can scale. I don't want to every month you turning over. That just don't make sense to me. It's too much work. Because when I'm marketing for long-term residents. I'm not marketing for people to come and go. Else I'll just put it on Airbnb or Pet Split or
right.
any of those other engines. I'm looking for people who have enough income to make a decent living while having affordable housing. So I provide the house, all utilities included, cleaning products, toiletries and things like that. And they receive food stamp benefits to feed themselves, and they're able to do the things that they enjoy doing leisurely. Now, I ain't got like thousands of dollars to waste on doing those things, but they can do things each day that they find comfort in. Because without me, majority of my population wouldn't have a place to stay anyways, because they don't make enough money to live in a traditional setting, whether it's a house or apartment. They may have background challenges that won't allow them to stay in Section 8 housing or getting into senior communities. So I just take the ones that a lot of people don't want and just give them that true second chance. But long term, I don't want short term.
That's fantastic. Like you are meeting the need to a group of individuals who have been forgotten, essentially, right?
Right.
Or they can't afford, or they don't have access to. I think the other thing that's amazing about what you've done and built in your business is, because I know somebody's watching this and they're like, "Oh, this is dope, but I don't have a house that I can do this." You've, from my understanding, built your whole entire structure from homes that do not belong to you.
Yeah, I actually started in my own home. And so I like to tell my students, because of course I don't create excuses, I make it happen. So for those that maybe not even have the capital to go out and pay for a deposit of first month rent for another property, you have to use what you got. So if you got a spare bedroom, turn those bedrooms into an opportunity. If you don't have spare bedrooms, and if your lease is coming up, upgrade. So you go from a 3 bedroom to a 4, from a 4 to a 5, so that you can bring people into your home and essentially house hack for a few months to keep that money in the
That's
house,
smart.
to be able to use that money to go out and get your first property. So that's truly how I got started. I have a 4 bedroom house. The private room, or the master suite, was on the bottom floor. 3 bedrooms at the top, and I put 2 bedrooms in each room upstairs. So I had 6 people living with me for June and July of 2021. So August 1st, 2021, I was able to use that money to pay for the deposit and first month rent for a rental property. So yeah, I didn't own the real estate, but I didn't get started making excuses. I just used what I had at the time.
That's almost cursed. That's amazing. So you use your own property that had the beds were just empty anyway, or they could be empty. You used that to get you up and running. You made your money from there, and then you went and you rented, you arbitraged someone else's property to do what you just practiced in your own house, and then you just kept building after that.
Correct.
Wow. And how many houses do you currently have now?
Currently, I have 7. I had 8, but we had some issues with permitting issues, so I had to close it out. So I have 7 right now, but my desire is to purchase my first real estate property before the end of this year.
Nice.
So because I'm getting so many leads, and I'm passing them off to other people. Of course, I want to keep my people that call me that I can service. So I have to keep growing this thing. And so I just refuse to go get another rental property because of the new information that my mentors has taught me in the real estate side. I'm not renting again.
Love that. Okay, so what tools, what softwares do you use to manage your homes like remotely?
So currently I just have a software for collecting the money. So I'm just using QuickBooks right now.
Okay.
Everything else systematic is just still on paper and pen. I do my tracking on Excel, so I'm able to do that. But one of my partners has pretty much created a software for me to be able to track everything digitally. So that's rolling out for next month.
Okay.
So I've been right now just doing things through QuickBooks and Excel.
Okay. For our viewers and listeners, what's one myth about group homes that is stopping people from getting started?
One myth about group homes, I feel that people just don't give people low income individuals an opportunity. They think that they're on drugs, they're gonna tear the house up. They just have no idea of all of the opportunities that they're missing out on because these people are truly amazing individuals. Of course, you have to weed out the bad people, but you have to do that anyways in general, regardless if they have a background, bad credit or not. You have to vet people.
Yeah.
And so it's just a growing need, and people just don't understand that a lot of the times that people who are experiencing homelessness, they're not choosing homelessness because they're battling a addiction. They're having to be in that boat because there's not enough safe, clean, and affordable housing opportunities for them because a lot of them are on disability or on SSI. And again, if the traditional setting is requiring you to have 2 and 3 times the rent or mortgage and other barriers, they ain't got it. So they're on the streets.
Yeah.
So it's just people just need to open up these homes. That's what they need to do.
Okay. So, long term, what's your vision? Is it ownership? Is it franchise model? Building a fund? What are you foreseeing?
My long term model is to consolidate the homes that I have. So in my city, we're able to have up to 16 people inside of these homes based on the square footage. So instead of me having a bunch of homes that's 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom homes, I want to consolidate these homes and just have me a few facilities,
Okay, gotcha.
and
That's
then
dope.
eventually um, sell it and do it over again.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna twist. I'm gonna give you throw some crazy stuff at you. So I hope you're
Okay,
ready.
all right.
All right, here we go. If you could keep one lesson and lost everything, what would that lesson be?
If I could keep one lesson,
Mm-hmm.
like if I lost everything,
You lost all your other lessons, all the things that you've gained, but you can keep one lesson. What would that lesson be? What would you start over with?
I start over with making sure I cast a wide net sooner.
Mm.
Basically, I would not focus on marketing or targeting people just within a certain vicinity that's near me. Um I could get further quicker if I make sure that I'm marketing within like a 50-mile radius.
Mm.
Because if I lost everything, I know to do that, it's gonna come right back quicker.
Tell me about a time when you had to choose between integrity and opportunity. I know this is big. We hear a lot of horror stories sometimes with people in that are doing group home businesses or things in the affordable housing space.
Integrity over opportunity.
Hmm.
Um, Knowing what my limits are. So, let's just say, for instance, I get a call from someone who has, let's just say, $3,000 that they can pay to stay into my home. Ideally, of course, that's amazing for me on the financial side of things. But I know that if I'm not able to meet their needs, then I cannot take on that individual because of a money grab. Because a lot of people do that. They know that they can't properly manage these individuals or provide the service that they need, and they take advantage of the money side of things versus knowing that, hey, I can't do this, so refer them to someone else.
Nice. Love that. Okay, you said in another interview, because I do my homework, you said consistency wins. So what does that actually look like when things are going wrong?
Being consistent is just it's a journey. Things are going to happen.
A journey.
It's a journey. So I I look for failure. I look for bad days. I look for things to go wrong. If something going good too long, I'm like, okay, come on, like, give me your best shot. You have to be consistent and keep going past anything that come about. Early on in my journey, it was hard. And I had told my fiance at the time, I was like, I'm about to go get a job. Like, I can't do this. And he was like, you're doing it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's challenging. Like, going back to doing what I was doing was easier for me. But I went and applied for that job, and I was like, goodbye. I went and applied for the job. I had the interview and did well on the interview. Answered all the questions because I had experience in everything. I didn't get the job, so I was back in this boat. And I said, okay, this have to work. And so that would just taught me a lesson, because I could have really been back on that hamster wheel if that person gave me that job. But now I know that, okay, I just have to be consistent in everything that I'm doing and know that it's not going to feel good always.
Yeah.
And so now I just know that every day the results are going to come by me just being consistent. And that's why I'm winning.
Yeah. And in a big way.
Yeah.
What's your favorite book that changed your life?
A book that changed my life is by Alex. I think of the name of it right now.
What is it about?
It's about sales.
About sales?
Yeah. It's about sales. He had started his journey, actually going into.
Alex Hormozy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn, now I can't think about it. What color is it? I know
Purple.
yeah.
Purple and blue.
Yeah. So the
It's leads.
Yeah, leads the 100 million.
Yeah. Offers.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah.
He has 3.
Yeah. Yeah. The offers. So
thank God he color coded up
yeah.
stuff.
The offers. So yeah, just knowing that his journey of when he first started his entrepreneurship, being in a room with everybody talking over his head, not knowing what was going on.
Yeah.
I was able to take some points from him about just making the offer that nobody can refuse. They'll be stupid not to take this.
Yeah.
So I have to read it over and over, because each time I get a new idea, and just being able to bundle up or package up your offer that nobody can refuse.
Yeah. What's a lesson that you learned that to this day still stings, like when you think about it?
Renting other people's property. That's a lesson, because anytime, listen, when I used to brag about it. I used to brag about all my houses that I'm renting. Like, I would flex like I'm making more money off of their property than they're getting off of me, not understanding equity or having assets. So it's just like, I hate I put that out there. Yeah. But it still, it still allowed me to make $500,000 in my business. But I just now understand where the true wealth is.
Yeah.
On this side. So yeah, but it's just some of those things, because I'm getting up out of that. Now they be just throwing me houses. One of my investors said, if you go see a house, any house you want, just let me know. I'm gonna get it for you. I was like, I was so impressed. But now I understand, so that's just one of the things. I wouldn't have rented so long if I knew what I know now.
What's one thing that made you laugh this week?
One thing that made me laugh this week, interacting with my residents. Because they gonna say something to make me laugh, make me smile. I just found joy in what I'm doing. So whenever I go around them, I don't care what's going on in the world. I go around them, and they just make me laugh. We just have a good time when we're around each other. So before I'm leaving out, I just gotta go do my my checks at each house, And and they know what I'm doing. They honestly know that I'm out traveling to teach other people how to get started in this business. And they'll even talk about, their journey with me and tell other people like we need this, especially my returning citizens. They want more people to get into this business. But like I say, before I left, going and kick it with them and having a good time.
It's a daily habit you never skip.
A daily habit I never skip is waking up listening to something inspiring. Or whether it's listening to a podcast or listening to gospel, I have to start my morning off in a direction that I want it to go.
What does being a better human mean to you?
Being a better human is, to me, means to be intentional about the things that you want to do and making sure that you're impacting people around you. So try to put in positive things in the universe every single day, and just like I say, just being intentional.
Yeah.
The more you are able to impact those around you, um, the better off others are around you. Like people are watching and people are seeing. So if you bringing off negative energy, negative vibes, it's not doing you or anyone around you any good. So just waking up and just having a breath of fresh air every single day.
Are you a foodie? You like to eat?
I do like to eat.
What's your favorite restaurant?
I ain't get this big that I like it is.
Favorite restaurant?
My favorite restaurant, Papados.
What's any city or?
That's in the I know it's in Texas. I think it's some here.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
chain. Mm-hmm.
What's the one topic that you're passionate about?
One topic that I am passionate about, um, entrepreneurship.
Is that what you want to be known for?
Mm-hmm. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we talk about group homes, but I have other businesses as well. I love business. We can talk about it all day long. We can brainstorm all day long. I never get tired.
What do you owe your success to?
I owe my success to my family.
Tell me something that makes you cry.
Something that makes me cry. You almost had me crying earlier. You
Yeah, I
should.
saw it.
Yeah.
Saw it.
I'm like, all right, yeah. No, but just knowing where I came from and where I am now.
Yeah. Is that what still makes you cry?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What do you think deja vu is for?
I would say it's for giving you a glimpse of something.
What sound or noise do you love?
Like the ocean. It's peaceful.
What profession other than your own would you attempt to try? Like, would you like to try?
I would attempt to try to become a nurse.
Yeah. What's your favorite curse word?
It's probably the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had like
Yeah.
the way you said yeah?
Yeah, because I still got some questions from my childhood.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. I want to ask you, if this was your last interview ever, what message would you want to leave us with?
I will leave you all with whatever you want to make of this lifetime to just get started. You don't have another one. And tomorrow is not promised. So just go after your dreams and don't allow nobody to tell you that your thoughts or your ideas or your dreams are beyond your reach, because I had that happen to me and look at where I'm at now.
Beautiful. The first question we opened up with, Nette, is a question my last guest I gave. So we have a tradition on the podcast. So you are the most recent guest. What question, silly or not, do you want me to open up to our next guest?
I want you to ask the next guest, where do they see themselves within the next 10 years?
Okay. Where can people connect with you and learn from you?
You can connect with me on Facebook. I do have a large community. It's called Group Homes for Newbies. That's the brand. It's over 65,000 members. You can follow me on TikTok and Instagram as well, Group Homes for Newbies. And my personal page is on Facebook is Nette Wheaton.
Okay. And I know you have a mentorship as well. Could you
Mm-hmm.
tell those who might be watching this and they're ready, they want to get started, tell us about your mentorship?
Yeah, so I have 3 tiers for my mentorship. I have a hybrid package where it's course related, and then we meet a few times a week on a group setting. I have a VIP mentorship where you get access to what's in the hybrid package, but have me one-on-one for calls to help you navigate the hurdles that you may have. And then I have my elite mentorship where I can come to your city and market with you in person, schedule lunch and learns, and just help you set up your business. And each one of my mentorships come with the opportunity to attend the 2-day conference event. So that's just one of the bonuses while the conference is going on.
It's amazing. It sounds like you read a lot in that $100 million offer.
Because I can repeat
Yeah,
it.
it was great. It fits. All right. Last question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you enter the heavenly gates?
I would like to hear God say that you was an overcomer and you dodged them big bricks I dropped down there. But you made it out all right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I really want to thank the time that we got a chance to be able to share. This weekend was amazing, but again, to sit down with you right now, one of the things that I can say that I learned from you is that your story isn't written. The story is given to you for you to be able to write. And so I want to appreciate and thank you for the opportunity to share that story with all of our listeners. Thank you.
I enjoy being here.
Good. We'll have you come back. As when you get your own houses that you're buying now,
yes.
we'll have you come back and
Yes.
explain to people
It's
how
gonna
to
be a
do
new
it.
look.
Yeah.
New look, new attitude, new walk.
New me. Who
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it.